Okay, hello. I am so excited you all are joining me today on this whole series. It has so much great information. And today I'm going to talk about creating connection. And it's just a guide to creating connection during social distancing, because I know it's a really kind of a tough time, but there are ways that we can create more connection and continue to not just create more connection, but connect to the people that are already around us. So I am so excited to get started. So grab a journal, take some notes so that you can really take advantage of this. So a little bit about me, if you don't know who I am Amanda Rose. I'm the founder and CEO of the Dating Boutique, Prestige Connections, and Swoomy Events. So Dating Boutique is a dating consultancy. We do all kinds of courses and workshops and all kinds of fun stuff, all about dating and helping people date successfully. We at Prestige Connections, that is my luxury matchmaking agency where we handpick the dates for our clients and play Cupid. And then Swoomy Events is my singles, curated singles event company. So we host events nationwide all the way into Canada. We have a lot of fun doing that. So definitely reach out and see if you're single. I know some people on this talk are in relationships, but that's totally okay. But definitely reach out if you're single. We have so many fun things going on for singles across the nation and into Canada. So before I created these businesses, I was also a regional coordinator for an international matchmaking firm before starting my own matchmaking agency. So I've been in the industry for quite some time. My goodness, it's been almost 9 years now since I've been in the dating industry. And my mission is to make matchmaking into a personalized experience and combine that experience in the dating industry to create just like a one-stop shop for finding love and healthy love at that. I love creating connections. I love putting people together. So I launched a series of the companies to create that unique, positive dating experience and help people find true love. So my clients get professional matchmaking experience, they get online dating makeovers, they get unique and curated singles events, and industry-leading courses, expert coaching, all that good stuff to help make them successful. So my work has been featured on everything from Glamour, Redbook, I've been on different radio, TV shows. I'm a contributor for the Huffington Post, Thrive, Elephant Journal, and let's just name a few. So a lot of fun, exciting stuff has been going on, and I am so excited to bring some of that information to you guys during this time. So let's get started. So my mission behind this summit or this talk that I'm doing today is really it's to create a place where we can thrive during social distancing. So because we must continue to create healthy connections, that's just a must in life. And it's kind of what makes the whole world go round is healthy connections and relationships. So connections are a vital part of our well-being to thrive mentally and emotionally, which is so important right now. And it's what gets us through some of the hardest times in life, So I really would love for you guys to just, join me for this. I'm not sure how long I will go, 30, maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour. But I just want you to join me as I explore ways to enhance your connections, create new connections, and just live fully for this time, in this moment. No matter what's going on around us, we can still really just make those connections amazing and better than they were before. So I'm going to focus on ways to create new connections for singles and for those in long-term relationships, how to enhance those, and how to maintain connections with your current relationships. I'm just going to go through a few pointers on what you can do and incorporate it into your own life to create those healthy relationships and connections. Okay, so when this social distancing first started, I was a little freaked out, I'm not going to lie. But because my whole industry, my whole world is based upon creating connections and putting people together in, public settings, and it kind of just stopped all of a sudden, and I didn't and I just had that freak out moment, like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? How are we going to do this? But I took some time and I meditated and really just started to reflect on what this meant and how, I always tell my kids, we can either be a part of the problem or we can be a part of the solution. So I knew there had to be a solution in this kind of craziness right now. There had to be some type of solution where we can make relationships stronger. We could create more connection. So after I had that brief freak out moment, I realized that this is a really valuable time. It's a time to create deeper connections. It's time to practice that intense self-care that we often neglect. And it's a great time for singles to date more successfully. I know that sounds crazy, date more successfully during shutdowns and social distancing, but just give me a minute and I'll tell you why. So that's what I really came to the conclusion is this is a valuable time that we can use to our benefit, to benefit our relationships, our connections, instead of taking it as a time to, yes, there's a lot of devastation going on right now. There's a lot of, just things that I can't even wrap my head around. But we can either be a part of the problem and increase a problem, or we can become a part of a solution and increase a solution and create positive change on the other side of this, because it is going to end. So I'm just going to go over some things that I, realized during this time, and I've been practicing with my own clients, my own family. But the thing is, love is not dead. It's flourishing right now. Even though we're social distancing, even though we're stuck at home and we're not out and about and, mingling with people, the thing is, love is still flourishing. And we are a part of that. And that's so exciting that we can continue to spread that throughout this world when the world needs it so much right now. So, the thing is, when I'm putting people together and people are dating and, when they meet that perfect person, it's funny how things like love can be found in the most unusual and unexpected places. Have you noticed it's often found when we least expect it? That's when we find like a new connection, a new best friend, or whatever it may be. That's why I believe love can be found in the midst of social distancing, when we're at home and we're not out and about, or even if we are with our loved ones, we can even deepen that relationship, deepen that love, deepen that bond and that intimacy. So that's why I really believe it can be found and enhanced in the midst of social distancing. Just with a few creative solutions. We have to be creative to, bring positive change sometimes. So I'm just going to move my photo over here so you guys can see the words on the screen. Okay, so first I want to address people that are single. I'm going to go through, like relationships and long distance relationships, or if you're at home with your loved ones, whatever your situation may be. So creating connections when you're single and you're at home, and I know this is a difficult time. But the thing is, the current state of our world definitely creates some challenges to finding love, but it also has created a new perspective on dating and making connections. Remember the days of like endless flirting at a concert or like a social gathering, or the dates at a local bar, you meet for a glass of wine or a cocktail. Well, even those days will come back soon enough. I'm hoping sooner than later. But in the meantime, singles can take advantage of social distancing and create new ways to find love and connections. And I think at a deeper level. So hang with me here, guys. You might wonder, like, how can we create connections on a deeper level when we're not even in front of people? I really think you can create more successful relationships because of what's going on now. It's all about perspective of how we look at a situation. And I'm going to share with you guys how you can do that and why I think it's possible. Okay, so we're going to create more successful relationships in this 30 minutes or an hour you have with me. That is my goal. I want you guys to create more successful relationships. So you might be thinking, This is crazy. Successful relationships or dating during social distancing. My partner's driving me nuts. I can't find a date on Bumble or when I'm swiping. I, I know you just got to stay with me for a moment. Here's the thing. I've noticed that during this time, people are being more authentic and more open about expressing feelings. It's in, and I think it's in these moments of like crisis and uncertainty that people start to show their heart, start to show, if I'm get my words out, start to show who they truly are and those heart-centered qualities. Because sometimes, life gets so busy, and I've noticed since the shutdowns have happened and the social distancing, we have actually kind of slowed down in a way. The world has just slowed down. We have time to think. We have time to decide what we really want in life. And that comes into relationships. So a lot of singles are deciding, okay, I do want to settle down, and this is what I really want in a partner. I'm no longer going to settle. I'm no longer going to accept these toxic relationships or these toxic patterns. I want someone who is real, who is authentic, who has those heart-centered qualities, and I'm ready to find them. I'm ready to have those conversations. I'm ready to open up and ask those questions to learn about this person on a deeper level than before. Because here's what I've noticed as a matchmaker, that people, when they go on dates, sometimes look at more of the physical aspects of the date instead of looking at the heart-centered qualities, which of course you have to be attracted to the person, right? But I think often we miss amazing matches because we are quick to judge. We're busy with our life. We don't give that person time to really express who they are at the core. And that's with dates. Like, first dates are so nerve-wracking that a lot of times you can't really get to know someone for who they really are on a first date. It's almost impossible because people are nervous. It's not like they're talking to their best friend. They're kind of trying to put it on their best impression to you. And it's not always the best time to judge if you're going to go on a second date with this person or not. Even if it's of course, if it's horrible, the person's rude and it's just a mess, of course you don't want to go on a second date with them. But I'm talking about the normal people. I'm talking about the dates, they're good dates. Conversation was good. You just don't feel chemistry. And that's often because of a lack of getting to that deeper conversation and really getting to know the core of that person. So I'm going to give you some tidbits on how to really get into that deeper conversation that you can use if you're single, you're dating, you're in a long distance relationship and you haven't seen your significant other for a long time, or even if you're at home with your significant other, your kids, whoever it may be, I'm going to give you some things that you can do to enhance those relationships. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, so this is why I think this time can be used to create more successful relationships. It's because in these types of moments of uncertainty of what tomorrow holds, we really tune in to what is truly important to us at the core, what we want 10 years from now, 5 years from now, whatever it may be. And that is why there's so many more people in that mindset that I believe we can create those deeper connections as a whole. Okay, so here's the first one. My goal is for everybody to engage in those deeper conversations and connections. And here's the thing. I believe we have two choices during this new normal, this temporary new normal of social distancing. We can either let the panic and the fear and the negativity consume us, or we can use it to draw closer to the art of creating authentic relationships. So when crisis hits and the future is uncertain, people begin to yearn for those deeper relationships, like I was saying before, and they begin to connect on deeper levels than before. So conversations naturally become more authentic than shallow, and people are vulnerable. It's at an all-time high. We begin to share our feelings. our hopes, our fears, what's going on inside of us, what we want in our future, and we want to be near other people and learn more about them. We crave that connection. I don't know if you guys do this, but when I go to the grocery, because we stay at home most of the time and we only go out when absolutely needed. But when I go like to the grocery and I get to talk to somebody, like I also am super excited. It just makes my day. Maybe it's just me, but it's like we're craving that connection. So I think we are more kind for the most part. There are some people that, of course, there's always those ones in the world, but for the most part, I think people are being more kind. They're being more open to getting to know you and having a conversation and kind of just slowing down. And it's really nice. I've noticed it, whenever I went out, it's just really, the conversations are just very genuine and very heartwarming. So I think that is something that is happening more and more as the social distancing is taking place. And I think that is a good thing. Okay, so how do we create relationships and more connection? Especially, those potential dating relationships. You're kind of like, well, I meet people on Tinder, Bumble, but how can we create more connection through a screen? And that is a great question, because I know, especially, dating can be challenging in itself, let alone in a quarantine. So I want us to be creative and have some fun with it. So I've created a list of some things to do during the quarantine to make I put dating life on here, but pretty much your relationships in general more successful. So let's go to the next slide. So this is for all you singles. If you are single and ready to mingle, but if you're in a relationship, do not leave me yet, because we're going to get to you. So if you're single, this is the time, ladies or guys, whoever's on this call, this is the time to join several online dating sites and start swiping. Like, a lot of people do have extra time. Some of us don't. People are still working. But if you do, this is the time to start swiping. Get on there. Even if you wrote off online dating, and had a horrible experience with that, it's time to give it a try again. Because you never know. Like 1 in 3 people that meet online actually they get married. And I met that man on Bumble years ago. And I was actually not on there today. I was doing research. And I saw him and I thought, I'm going to keep him for myself. And I swiped on him, and here we are, years later, in a different state, moved across the country. So anyway, so even if you wrote off online dating, it's time to try it again, because there's millions and millions of singles that are stuck at home and looking for conversation, something to do. So now more than ever, singles are online dating, and major online dating sites are seeing a boost in the number of registrations, like daily, in messages too. And some are seeing an increase of 30% more messages. It's a lot of messages going back and forth. So definitely get online, give it a try. Try like 3 sites. And here's a little secret for online dating. The more you swipe, the more you message, the algorithm gives you more matches. So if you're like totally frustrated with who you're seeing on there, adjust it a little bit. Adjust your demographics. Maybe you have it for 10 miles outside your home. Well, you need to adjust that to a few more. I always say at least 50. And then it maybe adjust the age just a little bit so that you get more potential dates in there, okay? So get online and get swiping. You never know who you'll meet. And then, so if you're single, another great thing that you can try is virtual speed dating parties. They are so much fun, guys. And the best part is you'll get to meet multiple people in just one night. And otherwise you might not ever meet ever. So each date is only like 3 to 5 minutes long. And if you like them, you'll get to connect with your compatible match after the party. So actually we're doing online speed dating events, virtual speed dating events. And to check out Swim Me events for more information, or if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to connect you with one of our events. They're so much fun. And then you all can plan a date after, when all this kind of dies down, you can plan an in-person date. Okay, So the thing is, you never know who you can meet, even while social distancing. So remember to keep your options open and try something new each week to keep those connections flowing. You know, soon this will be over and you'll have a great story to tell of who you met while you're in quarantine. So just imagine, so you meet the love of your life, and 5 years later, maybe you're married, maybe you have kids 10 years later, whatever it is, and then you can start telling them the story of how you guys met. I mean, pretty cool, right? So you can tell it to your friends. So just, you never know who you'll meet. So just make sure you're doing maybe a new online dating site a week, trying virtual speed dating, virtual like cocktail parties. They have all that going on. Go to meetup.com. They have tons of like online groups going on. So make sure you're just trying something new to keep those connections flowing. There's also singles Facebook groups as well. Lots of good stuff. Okay. So this goes for absolutely everybody. If you're in a relationship, long distance, you're with your significant other at home, or you're single. Everything has slowed down, which means we're taking more time to have conversations, which I love. This is the great part. We're not rushing through a dinner date or off to like the next event we have to go to, or we have to be at work at this certain time. Well, some of us, you know, essential workers, of course, that's totally different for them. So this is the perfect time to get to know that person in front of you. What are their heart centered qualities? What are those things that they're really passionate about, that really make them tick? What can you find out that's great about them? Really get to know them for who they are. And this is if you are newly talking to someone that you met online or at a virtual speed dating party, or if this is your long distance partner, or if this is the person that sits across from you at the dinner table every single night. There's always something you can learn about someone. And you never know what great connections you'll make during this time, or conversations that you'll start during this time, what you'll learn. You can build deeper intimacy, you can build a deeper connection. Even if you've been married for 20 years, if you've been in a relationship for years, these are things that you can still enhance your relationship. And it's usually the base of that is like communication, intimacy, and getting that emotional strong connection. Something that I love is, and I encourage you guys to look this up, is to look up 36 Questions That Lead to Love by Arthur Aron. His information is down here at the bottom of the screen. But there's 36 questions that you can ask your significant other to get them to know them better. And I don't recommend like doing it all at once, but as you're like at the dinner table, you can pull out a few questions or memorize them and use them as conversation starters. This is great, you know, if it's long distance and you're really craving that connection with your partner, or if you're just getting to know someone. Let's say you have a virtual date planned for someone. I want to do these probably on like some actually would be fun for the virtual speed dating, but I would use a few, like if you meet someone on Tinder, Bumble, whatever it may be, and then you move it to like a FaceTime Skype date, I would ask some of these questions. It takes off like the interview style of sometimes how dates go, like what do you like to do? What do you do for a living? You know, those boring interview questions where you feel like you're applying for a job. And dates shouldn't be like that. They should be fun and engaging, because when you ask engaging questions and you really truly want to get to know that other person, your attraction level immediately goes up. They feel connected. They want to see you again. They want to talk to you again. And so I think that, and the same goes with like your long distance relationship, the person sitting across from you at the dinner table tonight. Engage with them. Relationships do take work, and relationships are built over time to be stronger and stronger. Or you could choose the opposite and choose not to engage and choose not to constantly learn about your partner. And when you do that, that's when relationships crumble. So it's so important to constantly get to know your partner from day one to day 200 or 1050, whatever day it is. Always like listen and want to learn about your partner. So look up 36 Questions That Lead to Love. break out a few at the dinner table tonight or with your partner over FaceTime if you're not together, and start to really get to know them. I think they'll appreciate it. It's fun too. Some of the answers I do that with my kids and my man, and it's very interesting to see what they have to say. Okay, and some of them are not like for kids, but you can pick out a few for kids. Okay, so another thing that you can do to really increase your relationships, and this can be with friends, this can be with family, whoever you're not with at this time, you can set up your own virtual happy hour. And this is a great way to create connections between new and old friends. So I'm suggesting, like, for singles, invite 5 friends and then have each friend invite 5 friends over for video conferencing. So like you can use Zoom like I'm using now, and everybody can see each other at once. And make sure your friends know to invite some, if you're single, to invite some other cute single friends or family members. And then the virtual happy hour could turn into like a wine tasting or trivia night. So me and my girlfriends did a virtual happy hour, and we did wine and appetizers. And so each of us had like our own glass of wine and own appetizers, but you could even do like a wine tasting, and everybody brings a different type of wine and different type of appetizer. You can talk about it, or just make it creative. You could play games. A fun one is like Heads Up. There's an app that you can use on your phone. I'm trying to think of some other games you can play. The 5-second game, that's fun. So just make it creative and turn it into a virtual happy hour with your friends, your family, some new potential dates maybe. Your friends go up and play like your own speed dating. So just make it fun and creative. And these are ways that we can continue to connect with the people that we love and care about, even if they're not next to us. So do it with your family, your friends, your parents, and just keep that connection going. I would suggest doing this like once a week with people that you're close to. Okay. So next one, self-care. This is the magic ingredient, guys. And I know it's like, it doesn't involve anybody else, but I promise you, it's like the magic ingredient to creating really healthy connections. Because we have to take care of ourselves first before we can be that healthy person for the other people. If we're not healthy on the inside, mentally, emotionally, then it's going to kind of have that trickle effect onto our relationships. So it's so important that we take care of ourselves first, so we can bring our best version to the people that we love or the people that we're potentially dating. So most importantly, make sure you're taking care of you. Use this time to practice extra self-care. It's a tough time for a lot of people. So make sure, those things that you've been putting off because you've been so busy, take the time right now to start putting those habits into place. Maybe you've been putting off exercise or eating healthier, or, reading a self-development book or doing something for self-improvement. Take the time right now and do that every single day. Maybe start the day with meditation and yoga. That's something that I love to start the day with. So something that I do every morning is, actually, do I have it here? I do. Okay, I'm just going to show you guys. So every morning I have this gratitude journal, and I write in 10 things that I'm grateful for every single morning. And it helps me kind of put myself on, my mindset on the right track. There's a lot of, things going on. There's a lot of stress, in the world. So it's important to get our mindset right immediately in the morning, before we look at the news, before we answer emails. Focus on what you're thankful for. And then here's this book I'm reading right now. It's called The Magic, and it's all about gratitude. I highly, highly recommend it. And it goes through like all kinds of different gratitude practices. So that's a great self-care habit to put into your life. So you could start with something like that, just something simple, and then you can add to it. Eat a salad and have a smoothie or something. Eat more fruits and veggies. Exercise. If you're not exercising at all, just start little. 10 minutes here. Take a walk. Whatever it is, just start implementing those simple habits daily and work your way up. That way, you're taking care of yourself. So some other practices to help you during the time can be journaling, meditating, just make sure you're focusing on practicing self-love daily. That will help you tremendously. And it will kind of reflect into your relationships, I promise. People, that's one of the first things I help my coaching clients is getting into a really good self-care practice. And every single one that wasn't doing it before is always that. Like my friends are like, what are you doing different? Like, I want to know because you're so happy, you're glowing. So it's important to put that into place. Okay. Next. So for all you long distance relationship people or people that are single and dating, plan a virtual date. This is a time that you can set up a time for a video chat like on FaceTime or Skype, Zoom. You can make this date special by being creative. So you could send your date a bottle of wine or some flowers or like the same takeout that you're having, and then come up with some fun icebreaker games like two truths and a lie, or you can play heads up like I talked about before, or the 5-second rule game. There's so many fun games you can find on like Amazon or online. And you can even like cook a new recipe together or watch a movie together, learn a new skill. So whatever you guys are into, you know, use it, do it together while you're doing a video date. It's a great way for those long distance relationships to stay connected, learn together, and do like activities and fun things together. Same with new dates. Make your like first dates fun, your first video dates fun. So actually I already talked about gratitude. I guess I forgot to put this in here actually. So gratitude I think is one of the main things that to focus on when it comes to relationships, especially when you're stuck at home with your partner. And I know I've heard some people are like, oh my gosh, I'm going crazy, I need some space. And the thing is, yeah, we all need space. So go for a walk. If you're, getting frustrated with someone, you're having cabin fever, get out there and get some air. But the thing is, if you focus on gratitude and you focus on the connections you have right now, and you practice gratitude for each one of those relationships, even if someone's annoying you or whatever it may be or frustrating you, focus on the gratitude. What are you thankful about that person? And you could even send that person a note of why you're grateful for them. If they're not in your home, or even if they are, you could send, your parents or your best friend a note of why you're grateful for them, or text. And it really it helps deepen the dynamics of the relationships and makes them stronger. And just that appreciation and that gratitude it just works magic, guys. It's just like the book I was telling you about. It is magic. It changes your relationships. So I want to give you a little bit of homework tonight. I want you to get your journal out and list 3 people that you're grateful for. And next to each person, write 10 things of why you're grateful for them. Now, these people could be alive or not, maybe a loved one that's passed on. Whoever it is, I want you to focus on the things that you're grateful for about that person. If they are still living, you could send that list to them or share it with them if they live in the same home with you. But make sure that you're practicing that gratitude constantly with your relationships, because even if someone, your partner might be annoying you with being stuck together so much, there are so many things to be grateful for at this moment. There may be health, maybe the time together, maybe the dinners together, maybe you've been so rushed that you all haven't got to eat dinner together in like months, whatever it may be. Find that gratitude within your current relationships, friends, family, maybe a pet. So do that tonight. And then let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear how it goes. Okay. So I think I'm running out of time here, but I want to thank you guys so much for just joining me tonight. And I'd love to hear from you guys. I have a free gift for you all. It's Manifest More Love. It's a video series. It's a 3-part video series. If you just drop your email in the link that is on the page, you will get the video series immediately. And then this is great for singles or people. I think it's great for everybody. It's, how to manifest more love into your life, because more love is never a bad thing. Maybe you've been in a relationship for years. I think this still is relevant. to you as well. Okay, so connect with me on Instagram at XOXO Amanda Rhodes. Drop me a note. Let me know what you thought of the talk I did tonight. If you have any questions, I'd love to reach out and answer those. And then look me up on prestigeconnections.us. That's our matchmaking agency, and datingboutiqueinc.com is the dating consultancy. And then swoonme.love is the website for all of our singles events. So thank you so much for joining me, and I can't wait to hear from you guys.